neck, lower back pain. The programs are held once a week for 8 weeks and pay up to $340. Call 617-732-9181 today. Again, that's 617-732-9181.
I just came to Cambridge from China. I lived in Urumqi, where Xinjiang food is famous.
Good evening, Cambridge! How's everybody doing tonight? I got into a little political debate before my show started. That's what my show is about. We was talking about who do we like in the Democratic primary. Apparently, Hokum Luka, who is the governor of Colorado, dropped out. I'm pretty sure I'm half right on that. There's so many of them, as we was talking before. I said that my number one pick is my man Joe Biden. I like him. I love Joe Biden. I think that a lot of things that have been said about him is half truths. Some of it is whole truths. I think that he is the rock of the Democratic Party, and that's what we really need now, is somebody to like hold us and bind us together. There was some very horrific things that happened in the city of brotherly love yesterday. There was a shootout. I love Philadelphia to death. Before I kind of said goodbye to my home state of Tennessee, I went on some kind of walkabout. And if you don't know what a walkabout is, it's a spiritual journey that Australians take to try to find themselves. And as I was coming up here via bus, I just roamed around various different cities in the Northeast. And I spent a week in Philadelphia, and it was, for somebody who's so ingrained in Southern culture as myself, it was something that was really changing me. And I've never seen myself as a Philadelphian, but there's so many like symbols there of, Rocky. Rocky's a Philadelphian, and I've kind of always viewed myself as kind of a Rocky character. But, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, Rocky is like one of those iconic characters of all time. And, we hope that everything in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, kind of works out. It has been no question that we need strong gun control. Excuse me. I'm a little tired. We need strong gun control. I have advocated it several times. When I was running for Congress in the state of Tennessee, I advocated it. I honestly said that I was going to everybody's house that did not legally purchase a gun and take it. And I can see that. I believe that, if you legally and are responsible with a firearm, you can have one. But, if you did not legally purchase it, and if you don't legally have it, and if you're not responsible with it, you should get it taken away from you. There have been a lot of debates about this, and I don't see it any other way. There have been arguments about like the Jews in Nazi Germany, and how if they had more firearms, they would be able to overpower them with it, which is a myth. I am half German, which means I have studied a lot of German history, German, Austrian, and European history, and that's just a straight up myth. And we need to find a way to really clamp down and get to the serious business, which is our country. When my grandfather came here from Austria, through Germany, through New York, to Louisville, Kentucky, it was the land of hopes and dreams, and we honestly hope that we continue, no matter what, to be the land of hopes and dreams, because that's what it should be. We can take anybody under our wing. we can, build our masses up. Give me your starving. Give me your weak. Give me your huddled masses. This BS that 45 is feeding everybody about how, give me your people that's, able to stand on 2 feet is just BS. I'm strong. I don't know. One person's definition about standing on 2 feet is somebody's definition of, being lazy. And this is what we're stuck in as far as, philosophical definitions. I don't care what your religion is. I've said it time and time before that I'm a practicing Catholic, and I've practiced various different versions of Christianity throughout my life, and through friends and loved ones, I've practiced various different religions, and I've tried to gain this fundamental understanding of, what America is, and that's what we're trying to figure out right now, and that's what's going on with this election. We're trying to figure out who we are, and like I said, I had this deep-seated conversation with the producer about who we're voting for, and I said I'm strongly a Joe Biden person. He was like, why? And as I said, is Joe Biden's a rock. He is the rock that the Democratic Party has built themselves upon, and that's who we need. We need a strong, stable rock. We need somebody who's durable, and that's always there. And that's why, when I cast my vote coming up this primary, I'm going to be so proud to cast my vote for Joe Biden. Because a lot of them are just kind of, wishy-washy, and we don't know, we just don't know, But Joe Biden has been there, he's endured the storms, he's endured the rain, he's endured the sleet, he's endured the snow, and he's always stood there, saying, this is who I am as a person, in 2016, he would have won. He would have ran. However, he felt it wasn't the right time to run because of his son Bo passing away. And honestly, it's just, to me, he just rings the bell. He's just somebody I want. I really want this guy to lead our country. It's a lot better than what we got now, And a lot of this ridiculousness that's going on, we are a great melting pot of the world. I remember talking to a professor at Middle Tennessee State when I was half asleep because I just got off a shift at the Rutherford County Animal Shelter, Rutherford County Paws. And he was like, you know what I believe? I believe in the melting pot theory, that we all come from various different backgrounds. We all took various different paths in our life, and we need to, get back to that, I don't know what people has been through in their life. You don't know what I've been through in my life, Everybody's struggle is their own. And somehow we find a way, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what our religion is, to kind of come together and build a community. Well, you know what? This is what Cambridge is. We're going to build Cambridge up to what it is. This is what Boston is. We're going to build up Boston, Or Somerville. We're going to build up Somerville, We all come from someplace else, And I agree with that, I absolutely agree with the melting pot theory, And I agree that, it's better to have something than it is better to have nothing, That's just one of those strange philosophical theories I have. And that's the basic, principle of politics. Politics is the fact that, it's kind of philosophy in a way. is that we're all trying to figure out what it is, you know? We don't know who to ask. You know, some of us are terrified to ask. But once we get past the terror, you know, the fear, you know, when we actually open our mouths and we begin to talk, we realize that we're all just basically human inside. You know, and we're all just trying to make it, you know? We're not the great evil bourgeoisie. You know, we're all just basically working class. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. We're all basically just a working class, you know? Some of us have better jobs than others. Some of us have worse jobs than others. You know, it all determines on who has the better jobs and who has the worse jobs, you know? It really depends on your philosophical outlook on life. And I absolutely agree with that. When I was scrubbing animal cages at Rutherford County Paws, you know, to me, you know, that was a good job, you know, at the time. You know, I was whistling away and, you know, cleaning animal shit, that was an awesome job. You know? And for some, when I asked them, they said it's a horrible job. I said, I do not know. I do not know. I absolutely loved a lot of people that I worked with. You know, I kind of, you know, felt that respect and camaraderie. And that's something very important to have. Right now, I do not feel any respect or camaraderie due 45 or the occupant. You know, because that's basically what it is, you know? He is the occupant. Excuse me. And that's all he is. The reason why I call him that is because he basically doesn't do anything, you know? He plays golf more than anybody else. You know, he goes on vacations more than anybody else. You know, could you imagine Obama doing that? When Bill Clinton was in office, the majority of the time was, you know, lockdown. You know, that wouldn't have happened. You know, and we're trying to find a way out of this mess. And the best way out of this mess is to build it from the ground up, is to build it from our local communities. No matter if it's Somerville, no matter if it's Cambridge, no matter if it's Boston or Brookline or, you know, West Roxbury. And that's what I'm basically telling everybody tonight, you know? And as Ed Merkley once said, as I attended his town hall, is that, you know, we gotta go down, and once we hit the bottom, we'll end up going up. And a lot of times through 45's presidency, we kind of see that it's a bottomless abyss of nothingness. And that's true, you know? And every day we live on, like, the edge of the fact that, you know, he paid Russian prostitutes to pee on him. You know, he had sex with a porn star. He, you know, had various wives. I'm able to forgive all that. You know, I just want somebody that can come in, do the job as professionally as possible, and, you know, and leave. And that's all. But yet we're not getting that through 45. He was able to talk to the people of the great city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, about the horrible tragedy that happened. He wasn't able to talk to, you know, Dayton, Ohio, without confusing it for, you know, Toledo. I know people from Toledo, Ohio. It's a completely different Ohio. You know, it's something else, you know. I'm hoping that, you know, this individual moment will, you know, me talking to you, me coming out to you, me showing you that, you know, I actually care, I actually give a fuck. You know, because for some people, you know, it is hard to understand why, you know, some people don't really give a fuck. You know, I've seen a lot of horrible things in my lifetime. I've seen a lot of tragedy. But, you know, I'm able to get back. Hello, what's up? Hello? Whoops. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, I'm just outside the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How about you?
I'm good. We're from out of town. What is this? What are you doing here today?
I am doing a political talk show.
You have a show?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, good luck to you. I wish you the best.
I've got a question. What town are you from?
Rochester, New York.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Go Rochester.
See ya.
See ya. Whoops. That's awesome. You know, I was able to touch the lives of some people from Rochester, New York. Which is pretty, I mean, New York, no matter what, is a pretty liberal state. But, you know, before I was interrupted, I was saying, you know, we'll find a way to get past this. We've had rough times in our country. You know, we will continue to have rough times. I am not a Trump fan. A lot of people like to throw around the R word, but, you know, I'm not R word, you know. What I do not know. I mean, you know, it's one of those things, you know, when people start throwing around things, I'm reminded of what Steve Jobs once said, is that if you ask for it, if you keep on asking for it, one day you'll find it. Which is absolutely true. I think that's a part of the reason why we have Donald Trump. And another part of the reason is that somehow, some way, how some people really feel connected to him. I don't know why they feel connected to him. I do respect the office of president. I do respect the office of the individuals that I don't agree with politically. But yeah, I do my best to try to reach him somehow. I do my best to try to get, you know, socially connected to him, to saying, you know what, we can do better. You know, this is not what our society's about. I seen a kind of like a artsy photo shoot at the Commons today about the people of Boston, and it had like a little biography there, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the fact that I felt a connection to them, and and to a degree, to a great degree, maybe that's what it is. Maybe people use like liberal as a way to say to the elitist, because when you use the term the elitist, you know, you mean you're talking about the elite, people who are not socially connected to you. And, you know, when you don't feel socially connected to somebody, you don't feel an obligation to them. That's a little political science 1010 or 101. When I was at Middle Tennessee State, we used to call it 1010. But every other school likes to call it 101. And, you know, that's just an understanding that when you don't feel like socially connected to somebody, you don't feel obligation to them. And when you start feeling more like connected to them, and when I ran for Tennessee 2nd Congressional District, I walked. I literally walked the whole 2nd District by foot. And I talked to as many constituents as I could, because I wanted to feel a social connection to them. And the individual that won the primary got a degree in theater, and the individual that won the general election, people have been chanting his name since God knows when. I remember when I was like 18 and began to vote, when they was chanting that apparently they seen, you know, high offices in his, you know, future. And he could just put a commercial on TV talking about how like the world was perfect, and how pro-gun he was, and how pro-Trump he was. You know, this shit's ridiculous. This is what I don't like about our political system, you know, is that so many people are so easily manipulated and so easily controlled. I've got my mother and my father to vote Democrat for the first time, and that was the greatest achievement. When I ran in Tennessee, that's the only thing I wanted. You know, I did not think I was going to win. I didn't care about winning as long as I got those two to vote against the normal belief system. And they did. Even though I completely lost, I won something. And that's the thing we got to understand, that even though you're willing to lose the actual office, you've got to find a way to win something deep inside. You know, won, something that means a lot to me. And that's the thing about it, I wasn't out to win a political office. I was out to win, kind of my parents over. And I did. And that's the thing we got to understand, is that we're winning people over. We're not winning numbers over. I understand there's a political agenda out there. I never liked the word agenda. When I volunteered for the ACLU, we throw the word agenda around so much it's ridiculous. What happens if we actually put people out there? What happens if we actually start, helping the people? That's what I've always argued about on this show. We need to, find a way to fight for the people. We have a lot of people out there, in, Pine Street Inn. Pine Street Inn is the largest Boston City homeless shelter there is. How many people are, looking for, the good, How many people are, trying to find those people a place to, stay for the night, And there's one here in Cambridge. It's actually not too far away from Central Square Fire Department. And that's a homeless shelter as well. How many people are looking for those people to actually have a stable place to live? That's what I'm talking about. Stabilize these communities. That's what we need to do. We need to actually fight for these people. Because if you fight for the people, you actually win. If you fight for the numbers, there's a possibility you're going to lose. There's a possibility you're going to win. I know I always talk circles here on, the jail show, which that's the name of it. And to me, it's not circles, to me, it's just basics, and that's what politics is, Politics is not really politics, as I always say. Politics is dry and boring. I have ran into the former governor of Massachusetts several times, and he's a wonderful person who doesn't really have to say anything to me. I know his background, I know his history, I know that he did his best as far as like the 1988 election goes, and yet he didn't win. However, he still remains a prominent political figure because he's more human than what 45 will ever be. Just the way, his opponent, George Bush will be, George Bush was, he used some funny tricks during the election. I can name quite a few that I've studied in class. But yeah, George Bush, if you like him or hate him, he was still that basic human. And that's what we're losing as far as our political system goes. We're completely turning into the country of, of convenience, of fast food, fast drink, And yet we don't need to do that, We need to find a way to not really stop it, but slow it down a way. I don't know how we're going to do that. That's one of the things I've been trying to figure out on my show. I usually come on here and, ask some questions, try to get a few people calling, try to tell me what your favorite book is, or try to get a conversation started. Because that's where we are as far as politics go. You talk to me, I talk to you. There's a lot of things going on out there in Cambridge and Somerville and Boston. And I want to know about them. I've just seen my first legalized pot shop. It was awesome. And these states are so neoconservative, they will probably never have legalized weed. When I came here to Massachusetts 3 years ago, that was the first thing I voted on. I was like, yeah, of course we need to legalize weed. When I campaigned in Tennessee as a predominant congressman, I was like, yeah, it's common sense. We need to legalize weed. Because there's so many medical benefits there that we are not using. There's so many, awesomeness that we haven't figured out yet, Just to write it off as people just being stupid is ridiculous. We do not fully understand or comprehend things. We need, our best scientists in NASA. Somehow we don't have them. We need our best minds in these political offices, which we haven't got them. And I just don't know. It just seems like mindless commercialization and materialism, I am fixing to end my show for tonight. I am going to be back on here next Thursday at 8:30. And I hope to engage my viewers, my audience, either here in Cambridge or on Facebook. And I want to hear everybody's, I want to hear where you stand, your ideology, your political beliefs, your religion, what you did for today, what your favorite book is, your favorite movie. Because this is how we get our political process started. This is the fundamental stuff. It doesn't have to be exciting, but it's something, it's a basic, fundamental understanding of what's going on. This is Joe for the Joe Show. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining me.